Yo, Cover One crew, what's up? Welcome back to the show. We are continuing down this path of scouting reports because the NFL draft is almost here. I'm so excited. I mean, you guys should be too. The NFL draft is one of my favorite times. We get to understand these rookies, and I got another good one for you. He is Tank Bigsby, Auburn product, and I'm a big fan. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this man's services. Get on board because I do believe there is a lot of potential talent in this human being. He is a tank, and I mean named appropriately. I think he is one of these guys that is definitely not getting near enough love in this NFL draft process as we start today. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button before we get started. Help out the cause. Let's help grow this channel. But let's talk a little Tank Bigsby because he is, in my opinion, that good. One thing I never understood about the entire scouting environment is the fact of how they downgrade players who are actually very solid performers and have a lot of potential. Tank Bigsby is one of these players that I think too many people, I've only seen like pockets of scouts that have been upping the praise of Tank at this point. I am definitely in this category. I am on the wagon. I am promoting his services. So let's dive into those measurables. He stands 6 foot 210. Who does not like a 6 foot 210 running back? You kidding me? 21 years of age. He played in 35 contests, 540 attempts, almost 3,000 yards, 29.03. Very good productivity in his 3 years with the Auburn football team. 5.4 on the average, 25 rushing touchdowns. So he was able to produce. I just don't get it. I'm lost for words, and I'm baffled that people do not talk up Tank Bigsby more. 62 receptions for 448 yards, 7.2 on the average, 0 receiving touchdowns. Yes, he did have to split some time with Jaquiz Hunter, but he still was basically the lead dog in this backfield with Auburn. And I mean, he's got a good level of pros for me. Let's start in that pro category. Frame is stout. What am I saying? What don't you want out of a 6 foot 210-pound running back who can bulldoze people, bulldoze defenders? Okay, everyone's going to question the speed, but he got more acceleration than over-the-top speed. That is the thing, okay? And I completely understand. Everyone wants to see the sub-4.4 category for their running backs. Anything in the 4.5s are starting to downgrade and say they're not going to be anything special in the NFL. That is bull duty because he can still get after it, man. He has made house calls when given the opportunity. Yes, the blocking had to be superb, but he has made house calls from over 40 yards, so he is able to do it. It's just the speed is definitely not top end. It is more accelerators than overall top long speed. Overall speed is good enough for me. I get it. It was, a 4.52 if I'm not mistaken. But for 210, 6 foot, I mean, that's still very fast for this human. You did feel that he did kind of fall off this past year when it came to his wheels. But I still love, I watched all 3 years of his film. And I'm in love with what he can do, potentially what he could do in the pros. If he gets on a good team with the system that it can exploit him, I think he's going to do very well. Inside, outside ability is very strong in Tank Bigsby. He can get after it. Inside is good. Vision is decent and above average, where his outside run ability off tackle can get after it, and he will be able to get into the open field, gaining you the 10 to 15 yards. If the blocking is solid and he is there, he's able to get over it, and he's going to truck and bull people over in the process. He's going to fall forward more often than you think. He is definitely not, tackled behind the line as much as some want to suggest. I think he is very good in that. The one cut and go is absolutely nice, and he's going to get after that. So he could be in that category of being the one cut go runner, and that's fine. I've seen him make some moves, but he is, got the great plant step cut and then very good in the open field making those plant step cuts. So that is part of his game. He is going to be able to at least cut some, make a cut and then shake somebody out of their pants that way. He's not a juker, elite juker shaker in that respect. That's just not part of his game, but he can when he does make that nice plant step, and then, when it's a one cut and go from behind the line of scrimmage, and then in the open field, the plant step is there to get around opposing defenders. Like I'm saying, the vision is above average in between the tackles. I don't have many concerns. I think that he can do it very well, and then he does have those accelerators with some level of burst. Not great, but the accelerators accelerators are there once he does get a couple steps outside of the pocket. Solid power and stiff arm, a very good break tackle in a Tank Bigsby. His name's Tank. His parents knew right off the bat, Tank, call him Tank, and he's, that's what he is on the field. I mean, very good, solid power. Like I said, he's going to be falling forward more often than he's going to be taken back down. So you got to like this about your running backs. I mean, he is a volume workhorse back. He did the damage at Auburn. I mean, almost 600 carries, 540 carries for this man. He was able to carry the load very much in Auburn. And, I mean, he carried really much subpar teams with Auburn, with the Tigers, and it's a very big positive for me. Can this guy carry a load in the NFL? Absolutely he can. How long will his career last? That's the other question mark we got to ask. But Tank Bigsby is definitely one of these guys that if you're looking for, you have a speed back, you have a receiving back on your team, you bring in a Tank to be that change of pace, bully type of back, he's going to provide what you require. I'm not kidding about that. He is a better receiving back than most do believe. He does have 60 catches in his career, 60 catches plus. So, I mean, it's not like people say his hands are bricks, he can't catch. That's not right, and it's not true. So don't believe that whatsoever. He's not going to wow you in the pass game, but he's definitely good enough that if you do have him on third down, he's going to be able to make some plays from the backfield. I got him, I said before, I don't necessarily like to comp players, but he's kind of like a Chris Carson, very much in the same mold, same respect, and I think we saw how Chris Carson's career was starting to move forward. Unfortunately for him, he lost his career due to that neck injury. I think Tank Bigsby is very much like a Chris Carson could do, and I think he's a better receiving back than Chris Carson ever was. So I think he could find his way, latch his way onto a club and do some damage in that respect. But for some cons, he's got some, like I said, top-end speed just isn't there, and I'm not going to, defend something that isn't there, and it's not. I mean, he doesn't have the real elite breakaway wheels that we all expect from our running backs these days, the 4.4, sub-4.4 wheels. It just isn't part of his game, but he can. On a good day, he's probably 4.48, 4.49, and that's okay, especially at 210. It's still okay, and like I said, I've seen him make house calls from 30, 40 yards away, and he's able to do it. You just got to have the extreme sound blocking. He's going to get around the edge, and he's going to find his way to dance into the end zone. Burst is inconsistent. That's why I kind of put accelerators, because, some days you see the burst, some days you don't. Sometimes it's there, others it's not, and it's a problem. It's frustrating because you're saying, oh, he does got some burst, and then the others, you're like, where the hell's the burst, man? Where did it go? But I still believe in the man. I do believe that the burst is enough, and then it gets him to the point where he can break free in between the tackles, and especially going outside and off tackle. He does, show and showcase that. But again, you're going off tackle, he's already going 2-3 steps before he hits the hole, and then he's off to the races. Hence why I'm saying more accelerators than pure burst, but it is definitely inconsistent, definite con for me. Jukes and agile movements, they're few and far between. He has done them. I've seen them. It's just you don't see him near enough to be like, oh, yeah, he's got some shake. He's got some juke. And you're like, yeah, no, I just don't see near enough to give you the check boxes, bro. I'm sorry. You just can't do it at this point. But, he will make a move, from time to time that's going to say, whoa, where the hell did that come from? But he does have, like I said, the one plant cut step. He does do that very well over the jukes and shakes. He can lose speed after he does do those jukes and cuts. So I do believe that's why he doesn't do them and perform them, frequently. But he's more of a bully type of back that you're looking for that does have good speed, and he's going to be able to carry a workload if called upon. So for me, you're going to take the good with the negative, the positives with the bads. But in this case, if he does lose speed, he's just going to chalk it up to another play and try to make more yards after anyway. Patience does lack behind the line at times. Like I said, the prototypical one-cut runners, you're trying, the one cut, and then you're trying to find the hole and just go right through it. And that's what Tank's game is. So, I like a patient running back, more often than I don't. So, I got to put it down as a negative. Patience does lack overall in his game. Hence why I do believe some scouts do have him further down the board than I do. I'm more of a fan because I do believe in the skill set overall, but the patience definitely needs improvement. He can bounce outside a little too much. More than he's going to cut back inside. I wanted to see that more out of his game. He's definitely more comfortable going to the sidelines than he is going more into the middle of the field, especially when he takes the runs to the outside. Is this a big problem in the NFL? Perhaps. And I mean, especially with how quick and fast linebackers are nowadays, how good safety is, safety play is in the NFL. They're going to be able to understand where Tank is going. And if he doesn't figure that out really quickly, where he can bounce inside, tape and film study is going to get him in the negatives instantly on the field, because they're going to pin him to the sidelines and he's going to gain no yards whatsoever in the pros, because these guys can penetrate and get after running backs very quickly. So that's a part of his game that I do want to see improved. I do believe that is more coaching, where he is more comfortable going to the outside. It's like, well, shift it back inside. Maybe you can make a big run up the middle. But I mean, I think Tank Bigsby is definitely worth, at least a flyer, in saying that he could be a potential first and second down running back, carrying at least 150 to 200 carries in a backfield. He is definitely that good in my opinion. But for grading purposes, it might shock y'all, but I think he's good enough. 74.8% I got on Tank. I think he's good. I think he's a quality running back that is definitely capable of making waves in the pros. Will he be given the opportunity? Is he going to be a day 2 or day 3 product? Likely day 3. I want to say the round 4 or 5 area is where Tank could go, unless we see those few scouts like me that have been talking up his game, saying he's kind of the sleeper candidate that nobody's talking about, and it's almost like they don't want to talk about him because he's the best kept secret at the running back position at this point. But I get it. There's a lot of criticism on his game right now. I am definitely not a naysayer. I am promoting him because I think Tank Bigsby is the real deal. So there you have it. That is Tank Bigsby, Auburn product, and, one of my guys. I'm going to plant the flag right now and say, if I die on this hill, that's okay. If I miss, I miss. But I think he is definitely one of these players we all got to keep our eye on, because if he does find his way to get carries, he's going to make people take notice very quickly in how good his skill set can be. There is refinement needed in his game. Some solid coaching will definitely improve the overall outlook, but I'm a big fan of what Tank Bigsby can potentially be on the field. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. What are you thinking on Tank Bigsby? Where does he rank for you out of this running back class? Put him in the comments. We could definitely talk it out, but we'll see you next time. I am out.